All right, welcome to this masterclass called Top 2 Mistakes That Make You Fumble Your Message. The reason I put this together was because I see this so often with a lot of clients who are just starting out, or even some that are not starting out. They still, they'll go to networking events and people will ask them, hey, what do you do? What is it that you do for your business? And they fumble their response. They either take forever to actually get to the point of what it is they do. And then what happens when you do that? What happens when you fumble your message, especially when the prospect is right in front of you face to face, right? You lose the opportunity to make a sale. You lose the opportunity to connect with them. And so I want you to start to attract your soul clients with ease and to articulate, get into this level of super clarity with what it is that you're meant to share in the world. And so here I want to, we have more folks coming in. Great. Welcome, Jen. I want to share with you the top 2 mistakes and help you to avoid them. Avoid them so you can start making your money now. I want you to get paid for the profound transformation you offer. It's important. Why is it important? Because if you can't get yourself out there in your business and get paid, then you can't make the impact that you came to Earth to make. Okay? I'm clear on that. That's my truth. Hi, welcome. Jen is here. I don't know who the iPhone is. I'm gonna put you on mute because there's a little bit of background information, background noise happening. I want you guys to start using the chat box on the right-hand side. As I'm going through these slides, I want you to really put your questions in real time, and I'm gonna get to it. I'll scroll through the chat and I'll get to all of your questions in the end, okay? So today's agenda, I just wanna make sure we're recording, and we are. Great, so we're gonna go over the biggest mistakes. So originally it was the top 2, and then something else came to mind and I just had to get it in here. So I'm going to go over the top 3 biggest mistakes that you make that actually make you fumble your message. And then we're going to go into what you need in order to activate your soul clients to buy from you or hire you. And activate is a really key word here because so many clients come to me and they say, Renee, I get so many people interested in what I have to offer, but they don't end up saying yes and jumping into my program. So you don't want people just interested and leaning in. You actually want to activate them. You actually want them to get to the space of, oh my God, I'm a clear yes, of course, you have what it is I need. I want to buy from you. I want to hire you. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. And then at the end, we're going to go into a Q&A. Okay, so I'll be here for a little bit after this training is over to really dive into your specific questions and taking a look at your business. But before we get to the top mistakes, I just need you to know a little bit about me. Why you kind of talk make sure you mute yourselves if there's some background noise, okay? I am a mom, clearly. My picture, those are my 2 little kitties up there. That was recent. It was his birthday party, Nathan's birthday party. He turned 8, my girl is 5.5. That's my husband there. And so I juggle. I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years. And so I've been an entrepreneur before I had my kids, and I've been an entrepreneur juggling with kids on the side. And I just, it's been such a journey. It's been so amazing. Loving my kids, loving my clients, loving my business, loving my marriage, and learning how to do it all. So it's been really fantastic. Those are my kitties. I have a little picture of me riding a boat for the first time down in Atlanta. I just put that up there because, my truth is that we're here on earth just to collect experiences. So I don't hold things very heavy. I hold everything really light. It's just for the experience. And then I'm able to let it go and search for new experiences. And it's just fun to live life that way, I think. And to play big and go out and collect brand new experiences instead of staying in your comfort zone with the same old, or settling, right? I don't believe that at all. That's me speaking down below at one of the speaking events here in New York, but I have spoken across the country. I've actually shared a stage with Liz Gilbert back in 2017 as well. So I love speaking and getting my message out there through that medium. And then I've also, just so you know what my spiritual journey is, because I'm all about how everything is energy, and I work at the I am level. And whenever you get into my space or my container or my events, spirit is all up in our space, because I am a channel like that. I come from a Buddhist background, but I'm not Buddhist. I have an expanded spirituality. So I went beyond Buddhism, maybe 12 years ago or 13 years ago, when someone close to me passed away very suddenly on a motorcycle accident. That's a whole nother story, which I will be talking about more. But that is my background. I, started to connect with the angels. I started to connect and work with the Cosmic Christ and Ascended Masters. And when I do my healing sessions, I heal at the I am level. So that's a bit about me. And I want to let you know what it is that I've achieved. So I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years. This is my second six-figure business. So I just want you to be clear that I know what it takes energetically and practically to get you to new levels of success. Entrepreneurship is not, it's not easy peasy, right? Like it's not, but it doesn't have to be hard either. I don't want to paint that picture. In the early years, it was feast or famine. But that's because I bought into that story, right? And that became my reality. It doesn't have to be that way, especially if you're a soul purpose. Oh, welcome, Patricia. Come on in. Especially if you are a soul purpose driven entrepreneur. Alignment, and I'm going to talk more about this in a couple of slides here. Soul alignment, aligning with your soul and who you truly are and what it is your soul has to express in the world. That becomes everything in order to experience ease. So being an entrepreneur does not have to be hard, especially if you're a soul purpose driven one. I've got tools and support for you. So what I've achieved over the 12 years, I've had consistent income from my high level program since November 2015. I've had 5-figure months, 6-figure years across my 12 years as an entrepreneur. I've led 7 retreats. My 8th one is coming up soon in May. Speaking opportunities, last year was stunning. I had so many speaking opportunities falling into my lap effortlessly. I just want to be able to see you guys. I know a bunch of you are in here, but I can't see all of you for some reason. Anywho, so speaking opportunities falling into my lap. The key word here is effortlessly, though. Once I came into a deeper soul alignment, there was this level of flow, and that's what I want for you, okay? We're gonna really dive deep into the message and the mistakes you make around the message, but ultimately, it's all to get you where? To a point of flowing with ease and having your soul clients show up and saying yes to you, yes to your programs with joy. That's the destination, okay? Throughout my years in this sacred business, I've really been able to help my clients personally, like really impact their personal lives as well as their business. And I say personal life and business because they are not separate. I need you to be clear, they're not separate. When you do healing work and have personal breakthroughs, it leads to business breakthroughs, right? Because the two things, your personal life and your business life, they share one thing in common, your energy field, who you are. And so they're very much linked. And I just want to show you here some of the results that my clients have received. So Janira up top, I'm not going to read it in full, but she had an amazing first 5-figure month working with me. First 5-figure month, $20,000 booked. It was really, really exciting for her. After so many years of struggling, like people are interested, but I can't get them to say yes. Like, what is happening? What do I need to shift? After kind of banging her head really with marketing and being on what I call the marketing hamster wheel, she finally made the right energetic shift in one of my programs, and she was able to book $20,000. Elaine is an amazing writer. She even wrote speeches for Warren Buffett. I attract the most awesome clients, I tell you. And she was able to receive multiple clients at the $5,000 level for her writing course while she was working with me in one of my programs. And so she had her 5-figure month as well. And Diana down below, she actually booked over 6 figures working with me. So this is what's possible. Now, everybody was at a different stage in the game, right? But this is what's possible. Money, money flow, client flow, when you start to work with what I call your soul's core message, okay? And the way you get there is you avoid the top 3 mistakes with messaging. And I'm gonna get to that now. Okay, let me just check the chat. Okay, no. So by the way, guys, on your right-hand side, there's a little chat window. If you have questions, I want you to put it in there and I will get to it towards the end at the Q&A. So biggest mistake number 1 that makes you fumble your message, you guys, it's that you're selling your tools. You're selling your tools. What do I mean by tools? I'm talking about certifications. I'm talking about modalities. You know, I had a client who was a licensed homeopath. Amazing, right? Licensed homeopath. Her business name, I forget what it was, but it had homeopathy in the business name and in the URL. Later on, she got turned on to something called chemotherapy. And all of a sudden, it wasn't just homeopathy. Her toolbox expanded to have more tools. So then she had to change her URL and she ended up changing her business name as well. I was in the same boat. Back in 2013, 2014, my website and my business name was flowing with Reiki because I was selling my tools. And I'll tell you, that year, 2014, I only made $3,000 that entire year because I was only selling my tools. It doesn't work. I also evolved kind of like my other client. You know, once I evolved beyond Reiki and I had all these, you know, other healing modalities under my belt, I had to change my business name. I changed it to omwisdomandwellness.com. It was a DBA. And then eventually I landed on Renee Lee International because I got really clear selling your tools does not work. Not only doesn't it work with your URL because you're going to be constantly evolving, but it doesn't work because you can't signal your soul clients. What does this really look like? So energetically, if you're selling your tools, it could be that you're totally giving your power away to the tools, right? Perhaps you don't feel confident selling you. And so you hide behind your tools. That could be, you know, what it looks like for you. And just the fear of not being good enough without your certifications, right? So I want you to get clear and answer for yourself, like, what is it here? You know, like, am I selling my tools and am I hiding behind my tools? The downside is people don't get to see who you really are. How many people are Reiki practitioners in the world? A ton, right? There are a ton of Reiki practitioners in the world. What makes you stand out among the sea of healers and also a sea of coaches? The coaching industry is booming. It's been for the past decade. There's so many coaches, you know, life coaches, you know, nutrition coach. Everybody's a coach right now, which is cool. You know, I think people need that level of coaching and healing and transformation. But what makes you stand out in the sea of healers and coaches? So we want to talk about that here in today's training, because when you're hiding behind your tools, not only does your message fall flat, but people do not understand what transformation you offer. And when people are not clear, they don't buy. When people are not clear about the results they're going to get with you, they don't buy, right? And it's nothing personal. They're not clear. And if you think about it, you know, on the flip side, you're the same way. You want to be really super clear. What results will you be getting when you make an investment? And so selling tools does not work. I would invite you to shift and start looking at a deeper message, something I call your soul's core message, which I'm going to define for you here in a second here. But the biggest mistake number 2, before we get to soul's core message, is you're surveying and looking externally for your message. When you're a beginner online marketer, all the gurus out there will say to you, hey, if you want to make money, you need to solve a problem. And that is true. I align with that. I agree with that, okay? But the way they have you look for your message and the thing you want to solve is they have you go externally and survey your people. I've done this myself in 2014, 2015, where I would go to my email list and say, hey, just take 2 minutes out of your day, fill out these couple of questions. Let me know what you're feeling challenged with so I can support you. I've done that. And I'll tell you what happened. They told me, my tribe, it was back in 2014, my email list size was 300. And they told me, I want to know what it's like to raise my vibe, my vibration. Now, I'm a spiritual teacher, so I'm aligned with that. So I said, okay, cool. I can do that. And now I didn't drill down and get more specific. I went ahead and I created an entire e-course. And I built this out ahead of time, which, by the way, you're not supposed to do. But I built it out. I spent hours at night because my kids were really young back then. They were like 2, less than 2, and less than 4. And so I was a full-time mom, and I'm building out this huge e-course at nighttime. So I'm losing sleep. And this was over like 2.5 months because I was also a perfectionist and I didn't know how to record audio. So every time there was a mistake, I would stop, I would re-record everything. It was a nightmare. I ended up having breakdowns physically because I wasn't sleeping. I had breakdowns with my husband because, it was a mess. It was just a mess. And I was exhausted. But I still pushed forward. I launched it. I launched my e-course to the sound of crickets when carts closed. I followed everything to the T, everything all the gurus said, including tease them, right? So even before I opened up the cart, it's like, hey, are you guys really excited? And they all told me yes. And when I launched it, nothing. And so when you do this surveying, you're not aligned with your soul. You're aligned with something external, all right? Again, as a soul purpose-driven entrepreneur, you're not here if you wouldn't be here if you were not a soul purpose-driven entrepreneur. For us, the real work is aligning with your soul. That's how we create success. You're not out there selling vacuums and Mary Kay, right? You're not out there selling someone else's software. You're a soul purpose-driven entrepreneur. You're here to sell this particular message that lives in your soul, not in your head and not out there, not survey results. I invite you to stop surveying. And this also includes those Facebook posts that I'll see occasionally from colleagues that are like, hey, I've been thinking about creating this program for you. Are you interested? Again, that's looking outside of you and trying to get buy-in instead of really just aligning with your power and what your soul is meant to create in the world. You get that? Awesome. Mistake number 3 is many of you are reluctant to niche. Many of you are reluctant to niche. And I have to tell you, at any given point in time, you're only meant to serve one group at a time. Every time I share this teaching, I think of Louise Hay, right? You guys know who Louise Hay is? She's this amazing light worker and coach and mentor. She started Hay House, but before she started Hay House, before she became really, really mainstream, she was working with the AIDS community. Many of you don't know this. I would invite you to go to YouTube and look up her videos. It was stunning, the healing she was offering the AIDS and the gay community back in the 70s, I think it was. So she had one particular niche at that time. And, her journey with her business evolved over time to the point where, now she's so mainstream, she's got huge impact all around the world. And looking back, she impacted so many different groups of people, different audiences. But at any given point in time, she worked with one. She spoke to one group. Okay. And so that's what I invite you to do. I invite you to really look at, and you could go into your, in meditation or whatnot, go inward and ask yourself, who am I meant to serve right now? When you are reluctant to niche, most of the time, the thoughts that will come up are, well, what if I'm picking the wrong niche, right? And you don't want to be stuck with the wrong niche. And I'm here to tell you, it will evolve. All you have to do is focus on who you're meant to serve right now. Create all the impact you're meant to create, and let yourself free flow on your journey to soul purpose success. I promise you. Oh, Christina's coming in. Welcome, Christina. And I promise you that you will get more clarity as you take more action. And spirit will actually ask you to step up and go deeper into your divine blueprint as you finish and complete the work that's in front of you right now. So whoever you're meant to serve right now, just go do that, right? And just see your whole journey unfold. If for some, it's like the fear of missing out on money. And I tell you, if you niche and you really just work with who your soul clients are meant to be, the money will flow even faster. Again, as soul purpose-driven entrepreneurs, aligning with your soul, what's true for your soul is everything. And there's the fear of not being generous. Like, who am I to withhold? Oh, okay, great. Who am I to withhold? Who am I to withhold my teachings or my healing ability? Who am I to withhold that from people, right? I want to tell you a story about my Reiki master very, very long time ago. She had a hard time raising her prices. She had a really hard time. And she was a really amazing healer, amazing channel. And she struggled with spirit. Like, she was debating, she was going back and forth, she was arguing, really. And she kept saying, no, but I can't raise my prices because what about these people that can't afford it? Like, I can't not make it available to them. And after all this arguing with Spirit, Spirit finally sits her down and says, Stacy, your students and other healers, they need clients too. And that was a big aha for her. All the other healers out there need clients too. You can't be for everyone. And that's the bottom line here. If you're reluctant to niche, you're not meant for everyone. Okay. So, and if your ego took a hit with that one, I just want you to look at that as well, because the truth is you're not meant for everyone, not in the same moment. You're not meant for everyone. There are so many coaches out there. I said earlier, there's a sea of healers and a sea of coaches, which is amazing because people are waking up, right? They're waking up, they're taking holistic approaches to living life, which is beautiful. And so there's a whole ton of healers and coaches out there. They have their soul clients too, and you have yours. Okay, Joyce is coming in. Welcome, Joyce. And so you're not meant for everyone. Just focus on who you have sacred contracts with. That is your only goal. Attract, find those people that I said before I came to this earth, that I said I would help them on their journey. If you focus there, you will fulfill all that you came to earth to fulfill. So go ahead and niche. Tune in and see who you're meant to support. And the other thing, I'll define soul clients a little bit better too, right? So it's, yes, there are people who you have sacred contracts with to help them along their journey. There are also people that will know that they're meant to work with you first. You as the healer or the coach, you may not know who your soul clients are out there, but they're going to feel it in their body when they meet you and they hear your message loud and clear. They will feel it as chills in their body. They may feel emotional and tears may come up when they hear your story. It'll resonate in their body first. Okay, so that's what a soul client is. And for you to signal them that you're ready. Valish is coming in. Welcome, Valish. If you're ready to signal your soul clients, then you really have to stop talking to everybody. All right. Okay, I just want to check the chat box here. You guys go ahead and put your questions in if you have questions. I want to hear about what you're struggling with as far as niching. I'm going to do a quick recap here. Is it this next slide? It is the next slide. So here's a recap. And these are the top 3 biggest mistakes that you make when it comes to your message. One is selling your tools. So for me, selling my tools in 2014 got me $3,000 that year. It's not sustainable, clearly, and it wasn't helping me create the impact that I meant to create, right? So you've got to go beyond that. Your tools are your tools. It's not a message. You're going to have a ton of tools. Your toolbox will be forever expanding because that's just the type of person you are, right? You're always working on you as I am. And so let your toolbox be your toolbox. It's not your message. 2, surveying and looking externally. That created a $0 failed epic fail actually when I did my first launch of my e-course in 2015. Going external, it may work for a lot of people because you know what? Gurus are still teaching it to this day. Survey, survey, survey. It works for a lot of people, but they're not sole purpose-driven entrepreneurs. I'm talking to you. You are, you won't feel good until you create the impact you know you're meant to create on this earth. You're here with me because you're a sole purpose-driven entrepreneur. And so for us, soul alignment is everything. So stop looking externally, stop surveying, just get really clear within yourself. What is it that you're meant to share in the world? What is that message you're meant to share in the world? When I landed in 2017, when I landed on my Soul's Core message, I booked over $103,000 in sales. So what is that? What is that, this thing called Soul's Core message? It's certainly not something that lies in your head, right? I said don't look externally, but also don't look in your head. It's not something that you could come up. It's not like marketing buzzwords. We're not looking for that, right? That's all created from your head. A Soul's Core message is something that lies within your soul. And I want to tell you my Soul's Core message and my story because it will help to illustrate for you better what a Soul's Core message really looks like, okay? So my Soul's Core message is you can choose you over this thing called duty. And whether that's a duty as a mother or duty as a woman, or for me, it was duty as an Asian daughter, right? You get to choose you over this thing called duty and really live the life that you choose to live, the life that your soul wants to create on this earth. So let me tell you a story of how this came about. My grandmother and my mother would, they chose duty over self, and they were miserable. They were miserable. So my grandmother, she went into an arranged marriage, and this was just what she had to do. So she just did it, and she bore 8 children, and she was just not happy. She kind of dove into spirituality to escape everything else in life, and she was miserable. And then when my mother, when her children, it was time for them to get married, she let them choose who they wanted to marry, which was all fine and good. So my mother chose my father, and my father's family chose to come to this country. When it was time for us, my brother, my infant brother, me, my mother, my father, when it was time for us to come, because U.S. immigration approved our sponsorship application, my mother did not want to come. My mother did not want to come to this country. It was not her dream. She was only 27 years old, maybe. Her life that she had envisioned for herself was in Burma. She did not want to come to this country at all. So she went to her mother and she said, I don't want to go. What should I do? And my grandmother said to my mother, you have to go because you can't separate your children from their father. And so in that moment, my mother was forced to choose her duty over herself. And I was only 5 years old, or a little under 5. Oh, Christina hopped in, and she's back. So my story, I was only 5 years old, and I remember my mother was miserable. She was crying all the way to the airport when we were getting ready to come to this country. All her friends had came out, and then we were on the tarmac. So the airport in Burma back then was very small. So we were on the tarmac, walking to the airplane, and then seeing a bunch of people on the balcony, like waving their little handkerchiefs to say bye. My mother was bawling. She was crying. Her soul was broken. It wasn't just her heart. Her soul was broken. All her dreams, her entire life, she had to give up in the name of duty. Okay? And so many women go through this where they're forced to give up themselves and their dreams in the name of duty. And as a 5-year-old, seeing her, witnessing her there, soul broken on the tarmac, I said to myself, subconsciously that is, right? That will never be me. I will never let someone tell me what to do and be that unhappy. And so growing up, I rebelled a lot. No one could really tell me what to do. And it wasn't until, in 2017 when I really came to unshackle myself from this thing called duty and gave myself permission to leave my parents, in the face of looking like a bad Asian daughter, in the face of looking like I was not doing my duty as an Asian daughter, in the face of all of that, the face of, being judged for that. I gave myself permission to choose me over duty, and I moved up here to the mountains. And once I started sharing this story and the message that, hey, you get to choose you over duty. Duty does not have to come over self. That just leads to misery, right? Once I started sharing this message, that's when I was able to attract more clients, more visibility opportunities, all of it falling into my lap. And of course, the money followed, right? So a soul's core message usually comes from a lived experience. It lies in your soul. It can't come from your head. So it comes from a lived experience, and it's usually something that you've been wanting to shout from the mountaintops for most of your life. And so I want to help you to start to really tune into that, okay? Here's a couple of other clients of mine. So Kate was amazing. So she says, my soul's core message and mission really resonated for me so much after our work together. It feels so healing. Things are now flowing. It's amazing. Yesterday, she had a sales call with a woman who fits her message and mission exactly. She has more visibility now, and things just started popping like popcorn, like literally just popping for her when she aligned and got really clear what her soul's core message was. And so she says, the shift has been nothing short of amazing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So that's what's possible for you guys, right? This deep level of clarity that can open up your business and open up your life. So I want you to look at your business right now. Just take a quick look at your business. Take a look at what your message is. Were you selling tools? Were you surveying people? Are you reluctant to niche? Like, what is that challenge for you? And I want you to start to ask yourself, are you ready to get new results? New results. If you're ready to discover your soul's core message, increase your visibility to signal your soul clients. And this is the biggest result I really want to get for all of my clients. Get paid. And when I say get paid, be clear. I'm not talking about raise your rates from 100 to 150 an hour. I'm talking about 5-figure clients. I do not believe that for the people that, for my soul clients, people who are attracted to work with me, I believe that they all are meant to have a much larger impact. Majority of my clients have a seeded vision for international visibility and impact, a global impact, okay? Not just local, not just national, but international. That's just what I see over the years. And so I am committed to getting them 5-figure clients and consistent income, because that's how we create impact, real deep breakthroughs. Because money is just an energy. Money is an energy exchange. So if you want deeper breakthroughs, I help my clients raise their prices to do that. And consistent income. Remember, I've had consistent income without a 2-week break since November 2015. And I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years. So I know what it takes energetically and practically to get higher income and higher success, right? 12 years in business. This is my second 6-figure business. And so I know a thing or two. And I want to support you in really getting to this level of success yourself, because the world needs you. The impact you came here to Earth to create, that is, it's everything. And I want you to win so that all of us together as light workers can win. And so I want to invite you to an event coming up called Your Soul's Core Message. This is a 2.5-day transformation retreat where you get to finally get the clarity and confidence to attract your soul clients. This is happening May 12th through the 14th, 2019. It's in, I think, like 6 or 7 weeks now in Tarrytown, New York. And Tarrytown is super interesting. So it's, by the way, it's 30 minutes away from New York City, 30 minutes away from LaGuardia Airport. Mountain views. It's actually a buzz there's a big buzz and a lightworker community here in Tarrytown. So it's an amazing place. The venue itself is stunningly gorgeous with lots of acres. And so we're going to come here, meet live in person for 2.5 days. And we're going to have some healing breakthroughs for you so you can get clear on your soul's core message. What are you going to walk away with? So let me be clear. You're going to walk away with a whole new level of clarity, a whole new level of confidence so you can really attract high-paying soul clients, okay? You're going to get clear on what your soul's core message is. Together, we're going to work on the structure to create a clear and kick-ass, what I call your soul's core message and mission statement. So Patricia, this is different than what we did in the last training you were on. The last training you were on, it was called the What I Do statement. That's just 1 out of 3 steps that I use to get you clear on your soul's core message. So the 3 steps, just at a glance, we tap into your deep mastery. We really look at your mastery. We look at your childhood, similar to my own soul's core message where, I had this memory and understood that it all started from that one imprint from childhood. We go into your childhood and we go and we take a look at your soul client. We take a look at your future soul client and we work backwards. We kind of engineer it backwards. So it's a really special 3-step process. And of course, spirit is always there highlighting certain things for me, right? I call it, I always say I have a knack for messaging. And that's really because spirit is highlighting certain words and certain phrases for me as you're talking and as I'm getting fed information from you and your spirit team, your spirit guides. And so, so be clear, Patricia and I don't know who else, Joyce, and some others that were here in the last training, this is different than what we did. That was just a starting point. And in the 2.5 days together, we're going to build content, right? I talked about energetics and practicality. I'm about both. So we're going to work together and create content, bite-sized social media content that's aligned with your soul's core message. So as soon as you walk away from the retreat, you have things to implement. You have a plan. So really you're walking away with power and a plan. Okay. And you're going to have, Joyce says, that's what I need. Well, I think you're just in Philadelphia, right? So yeah. So, Tarrytown, I think it's maybe less than 2 hours away. I'm not sure. We'll have to check on that. Plus the website. I'm glad you brought that up, Joyce, because, for me, the website thing is a yes and a no. Sometimes, you do, it's great energetically, but also you don't, because money making and sharing your message happens what? It happens through conversation and connection. Okay. So you don't always need the website. So don't get hooked on that. I have some clients that got hooked on the website thing and they would just delay their visibility and delay their success by 6 months, by 9 months, because they, were using it as an excuse to hide, kind of like hiding behind your tools. And I'm not saying that's you, Joyce, but I'm just saying, hey, let's be mindful, okay? I call it courageous honesty, like get really clear about what you're doing. Because if you get out of your own way and stop hiding behind tools and hiding behind a website and really sharing yourself, then you would have new results. All right. So you're going to walk away with social media content that you can implement right away and a new energy and a new you. And I really mean that literally. Every time, this is going to be my 8th retreat that I lead. And in all of my retreats, I have an opening ceremony and a closing ceremony. Super sacred and special. The opening ceremony is a third eye activation from the Cosmic Christ. And that helps to allow healing insights to come in for the 2.5 days we're together. Okay, and it allows you to have the perfect dreams when we do because you'll be staying overnight at the hotel. It allows you to have dreams come up that's just more juicy information for us to work with to get you to a deeper level of healing. There's an ascension ceremony at the end, which is all designed to upgrade your frequency in your cells, and that's led by Ascended Master Saint Germain. Which is stunning. And the reason I have that at the end, it's to help you integrate all the healing shifts that have occurred over the 2.5 days. All right. So you walk away with clarity, confidence, your soul's core message, a clear and kick-ass soul's core message statement, and bite-sized content for your social media. I'm going to get to the agenda. Oh, there's something missing here. I'm going to get to the agenda in the next slide. But I just want you to know it's 2.5 days transformational retreat for just $9.97, which is crazy affordable. And when you sign up, you get to bring a friend for $97. Those people who bring a friend, by the way, and I have 2 people who already took me up on this, you get a private dinner with me before the event even starts, because I love to reward people who lift each other up. Like I said before, we can't, the world can't heal if only half of us win. We all need to win. So I want to reward people who lift each other up. I think it's super important. I don't know why that's not there at the end. Anyway, you sign up at reneelee.net. Oh, there we go. If you sign up in the next 48 hours, you will also receive a healing session from me. Now, my healing sessions are not a Reiki healing session. I'm certified in 8 different modalities, but I'm at a point where I've surrendered it all because I don't hide behind my tools and my certificates, right? So I've surrendered it all to really let spirit channel through with messages, light language, which some people can call tongues, different toning. My clients get sacred ceremonies. It's so juicy. Anything goes. And I'm always surprised with my healing sessions. Sometimes I'm tearing up because it's just so beautiful, the sacred ceremonies that they get or the different gifts that spirit offers them. It's stunning. It's super stunning. Sign up in the next 48 hours and you receive a healing session. And it's all remote, by the way, because there's no personalities involved. That's why I can surrender as deeply as I can. It's all remote. It's not in person. You're not even on the phone with me. I just turn my microphone on. I record everything. You get the MP3. All right. No personality, super deep. This is one of the reasons why I am confident in saying that when you step into my container, it's powerful and permanent shifts. It's not the first time I'm saying it. I'm super confident saying it because I've seen this in my clients. Changed forever. Totally different person. And part of that is because of the healing sessions at the I am level. Okay, agenda. Let me check the chat. New Jersey. Oh, you're in New Jersey, Joyce. Yay, awesome. Yay, Christina. Christina's coming to the Soul's Core Retreat, actually. So day 1, opening ceremony, third eye activation from the Cosmic Christ. And when you get in the space with me, I'll tell you the whole story. It's a beautiful story. We're also going to identify and release something called your fear shield. Bottom line, you do not have results that you want because energetically you're telling the universe something very different. And so we're going to look at those energetic barriers, okay? And I call one of them is the fear shields. There's actually 3, but we're going to really get clear on the fear shield and release that so we can start sending a stronger signal for our soul clients. We will also look at universal laws to attract your soul clients. Again, you are soul purpose-driven entrepreneurs. You believe that everything is energy, and there are these universal laws that make the, world go around, right? It's the fabric of existence, these universal laws, and so we want to really work with them so we can access what we call flow and ease. So we'll go over universal law of assumption. It's actually my favorite one, universal law of assumption, on day 1. There will be sacred meditations. There'll be lots of sacred meditations, but one will be to shake off appearances of limitation. Because why? Limitations are all false. Limitations are all false. So it's a whole new level of stepping into your power, okay? Sacred meditation and exercises to get you clear on your soul's core message. Like I was telling Patricia earlier, there's a 3-step unique process that I walk through to help you discover your soul's core message. We start at the end of day 1. We continue into day 2. By the end, once you get clear on your soul's core message, I'm going to have you write out what I call a clear and kick-ass soul's core message and mission statement. It's stunning clarity that's going to make you go, oh my God, like that's it. You will know, right? Because we're not doing anything in the head. This is a message that lies in your soul. You're going to feel it. I call it soul clicking. When puzzle pieces, it feels like puzzle pieces coming together and it feels so good. You're going to experience that. We're going to turn your message and your mastery into bite-sized content for social media marketing. So again, a real practical plan that you walk away with. And you'll receive some laser coaching on how to increase your visibility. So day 3 is another juicy day, but it's a half day. So we start at 9:30, we end at 1. You master your mindset to align with the abundance and success that you desire. My approach to success, it's the healing, right? Healing at the ion level is the healing, the mindset, and the message and marketing. So you've got to take all three approaches. You can't skip the healing and think you're going to create new results. Doesn't work, at least not in my containers, right? Or my experience. You can't skip the mindset and think that you're going to create new results and just do the marketing. You can't just do the, get the message and marketing right and then not do any healing when things come up for you, when resistance comes up for you, when, so it's a holistic approach. So we're going to work on more mindset. And if we have time for more laser coaching on day 3 as well. The closing ceremony is very sacred. Saint Germain is an ascended master. He used to be Francis Bacon. He's the one that created the violet flame, but we are going to work with another invention of his, not the violet flame, but we're going to work with an etheric box that he will bring from the 5th dimension. And for those of you that feel like, oh, this is so woo-woo, what is she talking about, 5th dimension stuff? I just invite you to feel into it. You don't have to try to figure it all out in your head. It doesn't have to make sense in your head. I don't want to get into a physics conversation about what dimensions are and blah, blah, blah. I want you to feel into it. If you're called, then there is probably an activation or maybe you just need to work with me, right? Like, I want you to follow that calling. If you feel tugged, if you feel pulled to come to this event, I want you to follow it because there's juicy stuff on the other side of God breadcrumbs. I call them God breadcrumbs because they're what? They're breadcrumbs that lead you to bigger expansion, bigger growth, bigger success. And so Saint Germain is an ascended master. His ascension ceremony, it's really sacred. We'll go one at a time into the ascension's chair. All of us, and you get to say a beautiful ascension prayer and just experience the ascension chair for like 3 to 5 minutes. It's really powerful. This is the 8th time that I'll lead it because I actually do this at every single retreat that I've done. Stunning. So again, don't think with your head. If you're feeling called, I want you to show up. And I'll tell you, so many clients of mine, people that come to my retreats, they'll say to me, Renee, I really don't know what to expect, but I just knew, Spirit just told me I had to be there. And when you follow it, you have the deepest breakthroughs. You have the deepest breakthroughs. So again, your Soul's Core Message Retreat is, I didn't put the dates up again. May 12th through the 14th, as God would have it. It's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, May 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's 2.5 days. For this sacred time with me, for 2.5 days, it's just $9.97, which is ridiculous. This is actually lower than my other retreats. All the other retreats I've done have been $18.97. And so I want you to feel into it. This is an amazing opportunity. If you bring a friend, it's only $97. And I reward people who lift each other up. It's so important to me that we all win. It is so more than ever this year. It's so important to me that we all win. So I want to reward people who lift each other up by offering you a private dinner with me. So you get access to me so I can really pour into you, right? And all of that starts on the 11th, the night before our retreat together. If you sign up in the next 48 hours, we get to start the energy shifting now with a healing session. And so you'll maximize all the breakthroughs that you'll get from the retreat. So reneelee.net/retreat. If you are called to attend, I would love to meet you in person. Do you guys have questions? I don't even know what time it is. I've just been kind of talking. Oh, good. I wanted to end at the 60-minute mark. Yay. So let me know, what do you guys think about the biggest mistakes? Here, let me go back to should I go back to the recap? The top 3 mistakes are selling your tools, surveying, looking externally, and not niching. All right. And the answer is to really tap into your soul's core message. That's the message for soul purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Soul alignment is everything. Soul alignment is everything. So we have Kevin, Patricia, Joyce, Christina, Jen. Jen, I think this is your first time on with me here. So how are you? What do you think about this, this content? Where are you with your message? I am available for another 5 minutes before the 2 hour mark to answer questions. I want to now go into a Q&A. And anything goes. It doesn't have to be just about your message. If there's a particular challenge that you're facing with your business, let me know. You don't have to chat, by the way. You can unmute yourself and say hi and ask your question.
Awesome. Hi, Renee.
Hello.
Hi. I am working on a little bit more structure and strategizing. So I am working on a 7-day emotional detox as a free class to, get into connection with people. And I could use my core message now. So yeah, I'm wondering how to focus it.
How to focus your 7-day?
Yeah, the 7-day, the emotional detox that I'm gonna offer. Like, forgiveness is freedom. From fear to freedom. Like, I'm struggling with exactly what we're gonna do at the retreat. Or not, I'm struggling, but there are too many things in my head about that.
Yeah. So you have to phrase your question a little bit more powerfully because I'm unclear on how to address it. So you have a program that you're trying to get out there, but really you're unclear about how to position it, how to share it. Is that it? A messaging issue?
Yes, a messaging issue and a niching issue. Mm-hmm. How precise? I mean, no wonder I signed up for your retreat, right?
Right.
How precisely do I really just pick an emotion and guide people for 7 days to work with that emotion? Am I very specific? Am I not that specific? Am I working with fear, with anger, with is that helpful? Or as a first contact with me, is it more helpful to do it more generalized? I think I need some guidance on that.
Yeah. I think when you're more specific, then you get people who are really hungry for that thing, right? Because then they can really relate and resonate to, let's say, for example, if you really focused on anger, Christina, then you'll get people who are so present to anger in their life and they're so ready to turn that. They're so ready to release it versus, being really vague and go, hey, we'll heal emotions. And you'll get people who may not be as committed because then they weren't very clear when they signed up, right? So that's why that's the best thing about niching, and getting specific. But for you, I want to say, go ahead and launch this. Were you thinking of launching this in April?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Is there a reason for April and not until after our retreat together?
Well, this is supposed to be like a free program that I want to launch 4 times a year. So I think I can still massage, work with it after our retreat. I feel like, and maybe, the thing is, it might not even get out before, but that was the attempt to get the ball rolling because I need to be more visible.
Here's what I would suggest for you, okay? Because we're only about 7 weeks away from the retreat. What I would suggest for you is to get visible without selling right now. Just get practice getting visible and sharing your anger story, your forgiveness story, your freedom story, your fear story. And what that's going to do is it's going to build up rapport with your tribe so that when you do share your soul's core message in May and you share most likely is the signature story for you that will come out of it, they will be so ready to buy from you because now they've already leaned in. They know your life. They like you. They trust you. This is the know, like, trust factor, right? This is why we want to get visible and practice putting even our faces on the Zoom here and get practice being seen. So what if you built that up Because sometimes this is what a lot of entrepreneurs do. They hide for 6 months of the year, and then they go, "Oh, I need money.
I didn't
All
know.
right, so I'm going to come out month number 7 and sell." And it doesn't always work that way. It's a relationship you're building with your tribe. And for me, there will be some months where I engage with my tribe and I'm not selling, right? And so this is what some coaches will call relationship capital. You really want to build these relationships out. And so when you do sell, then it's a no-brainer. Of course, Christina has been offering me tons of value, this whole year. And now she's asking me if I want to go deeper. Yes, the answer is yes, right? So consider that. I'm not saying, don't launch it. I'm saying consider just kind of getting visible with those stories for the sake of sharing and practice getting visible. If you do want to launch it, just think into, if there's an emotional detox, like what is it they're really getting?
You do realize that the offering is a free offering.
Oh, got it.
That's what I wanted to do exactly in order to build more connection and add value and build that up. It's not a program yet that I'm the bigger program would also be longer than 7 days of surely.
Right. Sorry. It's like just like a challenge type of an event. Got it. It's an opt-in.
Yes.
Opt-ins. Love opt-ins. So think about what they will get. Emotional detox can certainly be in the subtitle, but what is it that you're really offering them? What is available to them after they complete the 7 days with you?
More clarity.
Around what?
Around whatever emotion I gonna pick, around the anger. When is it what's the context, when is it triggered, and they will also have available tools for working with it. Christina,
when they get rid of the anger, what kind of life can they have? What's available to them when they get rid of the anger?
Oh, it's freedom. It's freedom from the ties to reactivity and self-loathing. Just that I can't offer in 7 days. That's just going to be a taste of it.
Mm-hmm. Say more about the freedom. What does that really look like? Is it the freedom in their relationships?
It expresses in every venue of life. It expresses in, first of all, their relationship with themselves, with others, in their work life. If you're not reactive and getting angry over things that trigger you constantly, you have much more freedom to choose how to react, to choose how to engage, to choose how to navigate your life.
Yeah, it feels like I would put detox in the subtitle. I would put freedom in the title. So it's almost like emotional freedom, but a little bit more than that. There's another level that you can take it with the title. I would put detox in the subtitle, freedom in the title. Okay. People, again, they don't want to pay for the tools or necessarily the process, which is the detox. So I would try something like emotional freedom to powerfully manifest the life you want, or something like that. Emotional freedom would be part of the title. Does that feel good to you?
Yeah, that's one of, yes, it's one of the possibilities, I think, also for the bigger program.
Yeah. We're getting closer. We're not quite there yet, right? And so we'll really nail it when we get together at the retreat. But for all of you listening, this is what you want to, this is how you want to look at your copy, and this is how you want to look at your message. Certainly come to the event and get clear on your soul's core message, and you'll understand all of this at a much deeper level. But you want to stop selling the process and the tool. People don't buy that. They buy the message. They buy the destination you want to bring them to. They'll buy that juiciness that the thing that they've been saying they want in their heads, right? They're not saying in their head, I want Reiki or I want to detox, right? So I want you to shift the way you're thinking, especially when you're reviewing your copy. So this was a great sharing and great question, Christina. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, awesome. I like that. I love that you're playing with opt-ins. Cool. We're going to have so much fun. Any other questions before we complete? Anything that's come up for you? Patricia, you're feverishly writing over there. Do you have anything coming up for you?
What's come up for me is, and this is the result of some work I've been doing this week um, with a former client of yours. I don't know if she's still your client or not, but it's amazing how the world kind of pulls us all together.
Yeah.
I love what you said, the whole thing about you get to choose you and not your duty.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the bang that I got from that is like, it's like you hit upon something that I've always fought against and resisted against, because it's like, God damn, I'm going to go be the career woman. I'm not going to be the little Hispanic girl that got stuck in the ranch.
Yeah.
And yet it was from those roots that where I was in the ranch, that I got such a strong foundation that has led to much of my success. So for me, it's been that battle. I call it the teeter-totter war. You know, are you up or are you down? And instead of that balancing. And the way you just said it, that you get to choose you so that you can free yourself to be who you really are and get away from that duty. Thank you for that. That was really helpful.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. And you see, once I got, instead of me selling, what did I used to do? I used to teach people how to connect with their spirit guides for a couple of years. And that was great work. It was beautiful work. People were connecting with their spirit teams, but it wasn't my soul's core message. So people didn't have a reaction or a big aha like Patricia just had. When I started sharing my story in 2017 and really calling it, unshackle yourself from the guilt, unshackle yourself from the fear of judgments, and step into soul freedom, what I call orgasmic soul freedom, that message, because it's so aligned with my story of who I am, it really it landed powerfully with people. Now, if someone else used my language and someone else used the same story and message, it may not resonate with their people. But because it's aligned with who I am, it's landing powerfully when people are hearing it. It's landing powerfully in the hearts of my readers. And so that's what's going to happen for you when you get clear on your soul's core message, get clear on what that signature story is for you. When you share it, Christina, Patricia, it's going to land with people so powerfully, and they're going to say, wow, you've got the wisdom and the mastery. You're that many steps ahead of me. You're on the same path as I am. I need you to guide me. Right? People will, it can be that easy when you line up with your soul's core message and you stop trying to sell other stuff. Yeah. Awesome.
That makes so much sense, Renee. And it's almost like, I don't know if the term counterintuitive to everything we're hearing out there, do this, like you're saying, the surveys and everything. But oftentimes the surveys, from what I've learned, is you get good answers and it helps with developing content. But does it get to the real soul of what people are really feeling? And as I hear you talk, it's like you're talking about creating the connection with that potential client from deep inside the heart.
Yeah.
Did I get you correctly?
You did. And I'll go beyond that too. So it's heart connection, right? But it's more than that. It's signaling your soul clients. And again, these are people that have sacred contracts with you. So you've said to them, hey, you're going to come to earth and you're going to have these kind of challenges. I'm going to come into your life at this point to help you really get over the hump. So you can then go on to your mastery and your healing and move on with all the things you said you wanted to do in this life. So you have these commitments, these sacred contracts with people. And so it's a heart connection, but it's heart connection with the right people. It's your soul clients. That's why we're so driven to create impact. We want to create impact for those that we said we would create impact for. That's our soul clients. Okay. Awesome. Kevin asked a great question about the cosmic Christ. He said, what is the cosmic Christ? Well, look, it's just, we're all consciousness, we're all energy, and it's just consciousness. And so think of it like bands of consciousness. There's the there's the cosmic Christ, the planetary Christ, and you've heard many people say the Christ in you, right? It's these different layers of consciousness is all it is. Don't think of it like a human form. Guan Yin may look like Guan Yin to our physical eyes because of pictures, but does she really have feet? No. Right? We're all energy. And so think of it like bands of consciousness. Isn't that funny? Like, guys, we're not human. We're not this body. Anyway, so consciousness. It's a higher level consciousness is all I'm going to say for now.
All energy, right?
And then you yourself will have to feel into what that is and feel into whether or not you align with it and whether or not you want to take that on as your truth. I'm not out here saying this is true, this is what it's all about. It's my truth, and this is all from lived experience, okay? So I've been working with the Cosmic Christ since summer solstice of 2016. And many healing breakthroughs, and I work with my Divine Father as well. What is it? It's just all different consciousness levels is all I'm going to say. That's the cleanest way for me to say it right now, okay? Cool. Thank you for that question. All right, you guys, look, join me in Tarrytown. It's in New York, May 12th through the 14th. Go to reneelee.net/retreat. If you sign up in the next 48 hours, you'll get the Sacred Shift healing session with your IM. So at the IM level, which you will have lots of channeled messages, and it will jumpstart you to really maximize your time with me and maximize your breakthroughs. All right, reneelee.net/retreat. Reach out to me if you have more questions. Thank you so much for being here. I love being with you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Renee. Good to always see your smile and be in your energy.
Yay, love you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, Christina says, will I get, oh, okay. I'll contact you, Christina. You're welcome. Bye, everyone.